Hey guys, what's up? I'm Liz Hanna, and I would like to introduce our guests tonight, Nick Offerman and Sasha Lane. So these guys have to get another Q&A tonight, so we're gonna...
So that's it. Thanks so much.
I'm gonna do like one question and we're out. No, we're gonna just try and,
Look at this crowd.
I know, guys.
Good God. Thank you so much.
What'd you guys think of the movie? You guys can definitely leave now. That's the best response you're gonna have tonight.
We've peaked.
You've definitely peaked. I'm going to be a millennial about this and read my questions from my phone, so I hope everybody's cool. Let's just start with, how did you guys both get involved with the film?
Brett hit me up. Yeah, I really don't know. Yeah, I guess Brett hit me up, and then I met with him in New York, and we just, had some coffee and stuff and some good conversations, and then I was down.
We're so grateful for that information. We've been doing a lot of press in New York, and there's been just a lot of talk of how did you get Sasha and Kiersey to be in this movie?
Coffee was how.
Yeah, coffee, and then they were down. I was in Brett's last movie. If you haven't seen, he and his writing partner Mark Bash have 3 movies now. I'll See You in My Dreams, starring Blythe Danner and Sam Elliott and Martin Starr. It's beautiful. From that, they got sweet on Sam and made The Hero, and I had a supporting role as Sam's weed dealer, which has to be the peak of my life. Rolling joints with Sam on a deck in Topanga.
He's just a beautiful man. Let's just admit.
He's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous. Yeah.
And so then Brett and Martin, we kind of hit it off, and they said, we're going to take a swing at you. So this idea of this film came together, so they kind of wrote it for me, which was
not a bad gig.
Unprecedented.
Not bad. Not a bad thing to have happen. Something that I've talked to Brett about, so Brett Haley, who's the director, we keep mentioning Brett, writer-director of the film. Something I've talked to him about that I love is that Sam's character is in a relationship with a woman, and it's never discussed. It's never commented on, and I want to know, is that something that you guys had ever talked about that was not a conversation, or was it just from the beginning, we want to represent this couple and not have it be a conversation?
Yeah, it was pretty much, it was never a conversation. I read it and I was like, oh, beautiful, cool. And then me and Brett were talking about the script, running through the sides, and it just never was brought up ever because it didn't matter,
I mean, so often in film you have to have that coming out story. Yeah. And something I love so much about Sam's character is that when she talks to your character, she just says she's dating this girl, and it's never a thing. And usually it is a thing. What was it like with Kiersey, who plays Sam in the film? What was it like developing that relationship of father and daughter with her?
Well, it's good writing. I mean, so it allowed us to be pretty lazy, and also Kiersey is just really that golden. She just has an incredibly beautiful soul. So literally from the moment she walked in the door on the first day, the whole movie was like, oh shit, this thing just got turned up past 11. And so there was never any deep acting craft work. It was just more like we got into our dynamic. I easily fit into, because of my donkey-like demeanor, immediately was like, hey, what's up, Kiersey? I'm totally cool. I started trying to impress her with my emoji game. And, just being a dork, and so we just fell right into father and daughter of hey, I'm cool with you, please love me. And she generously, mostly did. But I just want to say, because I've been with Brett a lot the last few days, I want to point something out that I think is really great in the film. is once Sasha and Kiersey were on board and they were getting ready to shoot their stuff, Brett and his writing partner Mark asked them, like, what do you think about these scenes us two middle-aged white guys wrote? And they were like, well, it's let's talk about it. And they like, what about this part where you're like, hey, how crazy is it that we're gay? And they were like, oh, maybe we don't have to say that. Like, maybe we're just normal people. And so the writers took it upon themselves to let them sort of rewrite their stuff in a super mellow, realistic way.
Which very much doesn't happen often. Like,
yeah.
Writers don't often say to the cast, hey guys, tell us what this means. So that says a lot.
Yeah, or like, this is, this is you guys, so what did we get right and where can we make it better? And these guys told them, and as Brett says, they did something pretty revolutionary. They simply listened to them. And so that, I think it lends it a really sweet realism in that way, that it's not, there's no strategy. Mm-hmm. It's just two people having a summer romance. Also, the biracial family, we're just a family. Like, we're just some people in America trying to have a cool rock band.
As we all are,
yeah.
Genuinely. I think that you just touched on something that I think we've all been talking about a lot lately in our industry, is representation, and how important representation is, and be it either a biracial family or the coupling of you and Sam in the film, or frankly a single parent in the film. I think this film goes a long way to represent a lot of different people. Can you guys talk a little about representation and why it's important?
I think because everyone wants to see themselves. If you think about it, like, we watch movies and that's how we kind of pick up on our social norms and like how people view us and what we see and how we act. So like, if now we can make a movie to where it's like nothing was ever questioned, this is just the family and this is how they interact and all of that, then we'll see that and be like, oh, straight up cool. Like, everyone's just doing what they do, and so that like holds a bigger impact. And also just being inclusive, like, not like representation. Sometimes it's like, yeah, let's make a specific film about this specific thing and represent this, but also if we just do inclusive, which is what I feel this film is more, it's just like, we all just here.
Yeah, Brett, I mean, it's something I find that the writers that I'm drawn to are the ones that's one of the envelopes that we need to be pushing right now, and it's such an exciting time. I mean, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and so to imagine living in a world where gay marriage would be an open topic and legal in our country, or that weed would be legal, and now we've come to this place with the Me Too movement that's so exciting that even me, I consider myself open-minded and very woke for an Illinois farm boy, still, when that all happened, I was like, oh, we're all so complicit in the silence surrounding this issue, and this is so exciting that it's coming out. And if only we could flush it through the White House, then the job would be complete.
Preach.
But so Brett. He's 34, which is annoying because he's got a lot of wisdom in what he writes about, and so from the get-go, his wife is Asian American. She plays
the barista in the film, I believe, right?
She's the one giving me whoopie pies when my song comes on Spotify, our song, and God damn it. See? And so that was, from the get-go, that was really important to him, was that our family would be biracial and that it would be portrayed as perfectly normal. And so as a middle-aged, super white dude from Ireland, I'm really glad that I can find open-minded people to work with that aren't just trying to make another cop procedural, but make a cop procedural with a rainbow of people and all genders and all persuasions, and treating it just like we're all a bunch of people, because that's all we are.
Hear, hear. Let's talk about the music, because I think I've had that song stuck in my head for the last 2 months since I saw the movie, which was like great and then terrible because I didn't have the single or the record to listen to, so I was just like making up bad lyrics of the song in my head. It was kind of a dark time for my husband. So how did the music come a part of this creation of the character, and then of also, I mean, did you play all the instruments that you played when you were shooting the film, or did you learn them?
Okay, so Keegan DeWitt wrote the songs. He's this incredibly prolific talent. At the last few Sundance festivals, he's had 4 to 7 movies that he's... One of his movies just had this whole, like, Woody Allen piano score. He's just ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
Sundance all the time.
And he's super handsome and nice. So I hate him. But he did Brett's, I think both of Brett's previous movies, definitely The Hero, and he had a song called Hearts Beat Loud. That song, it's 8 or 10 years old, and Brett said, "I love this song. I love the title." And so he and Mark had the idea of the single dad and the band thing. And it all kind of came together. So then as they wrote the script, Keegan then wrote 3 more songs, or 4 or 5 actually, because there was a couple that came and went. And so the songs were created within and as part of the narrative. Brett loves music. You know, he wanted to come as close to making a musical as he could without making a musical. And so then Kiersey and I, we both have musical skills. None of those scenes are actually me. They CGI'd my head onto professional musicians. Just kidding.
As I assumed. Yeah.
He's good.
Totally kidding. Just joshing with you guys. But like we both played all that stuff. But neither of us are pro musicians, you know. Kiersey obviously could play Carnegie Hall.
I mean, Kiersey's voice in this film is a kind of a revelation for me. I had never heard her sing.
I couldn't agree more.
She opened her mouth, and I was like, whoa, where did that come from?
It's a sublime talent.
Absolutely.
I cried every time. Like I was, Brett, when we were auditioning, you know, Sam and stuff, he would send me the tracks of them singing, and like everyone had a beautiful voice. When I heard Kiersey sing, like first I was like, what? And then I just cried, which was annoying. I don't like to cry. And then
emotions are hard. This movie made me like actually feel things, and it was tough. It was tough, guys.
And then on set, of course, you're doing multiple takes, so she's singing so many times, and I just freaking cried every time. And then I'd get gushy and just stare at her with these puppy dog eyes, and just be like, I love you so much. And she probably got so annoyed because I just was like, but it was cute.
What are you supposed to do when she looks at you and says, "You told me I was brave, and I'll remember that"?
Bruh, seriously, yo.
Q&A over.
I'm going to do one last question, and then we're going to turn to the audience. So something that I felt was really powerful about her performance and your performance as a father-daughter was dealing with your wife's / her mother's death. And sort of a lot of her reservation had to deal with this kind of shadow of her mother. And that, I think, was really felt. Was that something that you went into? I mean, obviously you knew that was going to be part of the script, but you know, you have sort of this shadow over the film of something that's not talked about a lot, is handled very subtly. Was that something that you guys kind of had conversations, you and Kiersey, of this is how we're going to deal with it, or was it separate?
That's a great question that has not been asked, and also this is the first time I am thinking about it, because we never. I mean, again, it's good writing, and so all of those questions are sort of answered. You know, there was never any like, so you know, what do we? How are we dealing with this? It sort of is all in there, and so we knew. You know, the script told us what we were swallowing and what we were in denial about, or what we weren't moving forward past. And so we knew what was up when in that scene where I play the acoustic thing to her. By the way, Brett would want me to tell you that all the vocals are live in the thing, which is really hard to do, but is obviously really important for the organic nature of it. And so we just, any conversation that we would have had, I think we just already inherently knew, because it was laid out
As a writer, that makes me happy and both super jealous. So I'm excited for you. All right, I'm going to open up to questions. If anybody has a question, you're right there. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm always intrigued by how certain directors work with different actors every time, and then other directors work with the same actor every single time. So since this being your second film with Brett, I wonder if you could talk on how your guys' relationship has kind of evolved from, just being a supporting role and hero, and then now, being the lead.
Did you guys hear that in the back? Okay, cool.
Well, so I'm in a lineage. I'm in a very noble lineage. Blythe Danner and Sam Elliott and I have all done 2 apiece with Brett, and he just is. It's so funny. Sam and I became friends impossibly because they cast him on Parks and Rec to be my doppelganger. Which imagine being told that, where you're like, what?
There's like a blog of like pictures of you compared to like cats.
I have heard of this, yeah.
Yeah. My friend
Great
told me
segue.
this morning.
Great
It's
segue. Let's talk about that.
It's a wonderful life.
It's cute, man. It's cute.
So Sam is the biggest sweetheart in the world, and we became good buddies. And he asked me out to lunch one day, and I am proud to tell you that we both ordered the Nancy Reagan salad. And I was like, Sam, how fucking hilarious is this? We've ordered the most ladylike meal.
Who ordered it first? That's the important question.
Well, it was a place that I frequent, and so I did, and I recommended that he try it. I'm definitely the more girlish of the two of us. So Brett just has so Sam said to me, hey, I want you to, I did this movie, and I said, yes, I'll see you in my dreams. And he said, I'm doing another one where I'm the lead, and I want you to do this part. Now this guy is young, and he's a little enthusiastic. And Sam didn't really mean that as a compliment. And I was like, look, Sam, I'll do whatever, like, I'll walk across the country to help you move. Like, I love you. I'll do anything you want. And so then I signed up and I went and met Brett. And what Sam meant is that Brett has an incredibly clear vision, and he is super enthusiastic, which in somebody that didn't quite know what they were doing as well as he does would be super annoying. Because he's in your face, where he's like, oh my, he's got so much energy and passion, but it's because his vision is so clear. And so I immediately got what Sam meant. Like, he's like, it might be off-putting at first because he's a big guy and he's very loud, but you immediately
His heart beats loud.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
He immediately sort of demands your trust. And so he just simply knows what he's doing. And, our films have foibles. All of our art has peccadillos. But I simply thought, hello, Abe. Abe's here. The director's assistant is sitting 2 rows behind you, wearing a Red Hook Records t-shirt.
Everyone go up to him later.
So that's sort of to wrap it up. That's the answer. Is he's wise beyond his years. By the way, we shot these movies are 18 or 19 day shoots. Yeah, that's right. It's crazy, but it's because he knows exactly what he's doing, and so I'm so grateful that he has this repertory sensibility where he's like, if I do another movie and I need a bus driver or a plumber, I know to call you, and that makes me very happy.
Let's do another question.
Hi. So, hi Nick. When you're like riffing on like Animal Collective and Songs So High, is it the writing or is that you? Like,
100% the writing. I love music. I love music. I mean, but my file reached capacity maybe around the Chili Peppers in like '97 or something. I love new music, and I have been turned on to new stuff since then, but I just don't keep up. But Brett does. He's an obsessive, encyclopedic student of music, and so all that stuff is very much him. And he would play the stuff for me, and sometimes we would even sort of rewrite we'd come up together with how we wanted to talk about it. But that's totally his sensibility. That stuff's way outside my realm of understanding.
Great shirt right there. Yep.
So in the movie, as well as you guys as people, you both are so unapologetically yourselves in life and in the movie. And you kind of touched on it earlier about all the revolutionary movements. But do you have like any suggestions of people who are trying to find themselves and just be themselves, as you guys so well portray in the movie as well as in life?
Before Sasha dives in heroically to this, I would invite you to hold this shoe up for the audience to see. I mean, that's Exhibit A. Right there.
But I like that you mentioned that because I lately have, not been feeling my best, and I decided I am a very expressive person. I shift in different moods all the time. So I know that when I feel like a fairy and I feel my best self, I love colors. And since I don't feel like my best self right now, I'm wearing a lot of colors because I know it's gonna bring that good energy to me. And for me, it was survival to be myself. I got so low to a point where I couldn't see why I should be here. Everyone else wanted me to be here. I didn't want to be here. But I decided okay, I'm going to make sure I want to be here because that's the only way I'll be here if I want to. And I decided my parents aren't going to live my life for me. Everyone else goes home and does whatever they want to do. They can tell me what to do all they want, but they're going to go live their life. So I am going to live my life the way I want, and that's what's going to keep me here, and that's what's going to keep me wearing stripes and smiling at this beautiful man and talking to beautiful people because I'm good because I'm just who I am, and no one's going to tell me that I'm different, I hope that helps.
Me too.
Yeah.
What she said.
We'll add more colors and stuff.
One or two more. So who I got? Yep, right there.
In my belly.
All right. Is there anybody in the back there that I can't see because there's a bunch of lights? Do we got any more? Yep, right there.
I loved Jeff Tweedy cameo. I was just curious, is Brett good friends with Jeff Tweedy?
Jeff it has been a hero. He's sort of been my Bob Dylan since the mid-'90s with his band Uncle Tupelo and then Wilco. And then he came to do a role for a few episodes on Parks and Recreation, and the first one I was directing. And amazingly, in this one day, I had Jeff and Sam Elliott and Bo Burnham, who is a crazy bonus. If you don't know Bo, look him up because he's the best of all of us. So Jeff and I met and fell in love immediately and were married. And we're still together. And I'm just crazy about him. And so not only did I ask Jeff to come, so it's a video of his band with his son called Tweety at the beginning of the movie that I'm watching, and then he comes and does this cameo, but also that Les Paul I bought off of him because
it's in the lobby right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
And it's in the lobby right now. That's where my goddamn guitar is. Megan. I emailed Jeff and said, I sent him the script and I said, please tell me what guitars to use, because if I pick them and I didn't live this life, but you did, and I pick wrong, and then you see the movie and then you break up with me, that would suck. So he told me which guitars to get that would be appropriate, and said, by the way, you can buy one of these off of me. And I did.
we're going to end it at that. Jeff Tweedy in the lobby.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Yes, thank you.
I would like to invite the young lady in the green shirt and Abe down here for a special gift for asking the 2 best questions.
Yes.
We got a couple of records.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And then also, while you're making your way down, quickly and quietly, with good manners, Abe, don't forget, this is the kind of movie that we're in New York and LA this weekend, but we very much depend on your word of mouth. If you're moved by this and you think it's delicious medicine like we do, please help spread the word, because the next couple weekends we go wider and wider, but our success and our ability to play in other cities depends entirely on your Instagram feeds.
All the pressure.
So thank you so much for your support. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.